What's up everyone? I'm out here at Lowe's Garden Center on the west side of El Paso and it is hot. Everyone knows with heat like this, the last thing you want to do is head out to the garden center to look at plants. Well, good news, I'm doing it for you. I'm braving the heat to share with you the heat-loving and drought-tolerant recommendations they have here at Lowe's right now. When it comes to drought-tolerant plants, my wife and I have learned through years of gardening what makes a good buy and what doesn't. Having lived in the Chihuahuan Desert our entire lives, we've seen which plants thrive in our family's gardens and in the natural landscapes all around us. As any gardener in the Southwest knows, the conservation of our resources is essential. Gardening has always been about making the most of every drop of water. It's something many of us have learned from our parents and grandparents. It truly is an art form. That's why we always have drought-tolerant plants on our garden wish list. We're passionate about these plants, so when we go to the garden center or nursery, we're looking out for plants as tough as far west Texas. Developing a water-wise gardening style not only helps us conserve water, it also allows us to create a beautiful, sustainable garden that can thrive in our desert climate. This beautiful bush is the Russelia Big Red, otherwise known as a firecracker or coral plant. It has these beautiful red tube-shaped blooms and they look exactly like firecrackers. I like to call this our 4th of July plant because it's going to bloom all summer long and it adds a pop figuratively around Independence Day. We bought one a few years ago right here from Lowe's. It is drought tolerant once it's established, but it prefers to stay moist if you're going to keep it in the pot. But once it becomes mature, it will be a drought tolerant plant. Now we recommend this because it would be a great addition if you want to add some height. It's going to grow to be about 3 to 5 feet tall and wide, and it will add some color to the garden all summer long. Now if you're looking to keep the pop of color going this summer, check out this next plant. It'll have you seeing gold. This is the Lantana New Gold. We love the lantana, especially with this vibrant yellow flower. It's tough, it's drought tolerant once it's established, and it's going to give you that bright pop of color you don't have to worry about. A lot of times when you have a bright flowered plant, it needs a lot of water. So this one is refreshing because it's a tough flowering plant and it is so low maintenance. Now, it would be better to find the true Texas native, the Texas lantana. That one is on our wish list, but this new gold is one of the most colorful plants in any water-wise garden. It is a perennial, and speaking of perennials, this next bush will be feeding your pollinators all year round. This is the blue emu bush. It's a tough, heat-loving evergreen shrub. This would look great in any Xeriscape landscape or desert garden. Now we have a mystery bush growing out here in our garden, and I think it might be a blue emu bush just like this. I think I may have to use my Google Gemini app to help me identify that mystery plant. Now, if you want to know how you can use Google Gemini as a tool in the garden, check out this video right up here in the corner where we discuss just that. This silver gray plant with its lavender blue flowers blooms all year long, and as you can see, the pollinators absolutely love it. This bumblebee is chowing down. Now, speaking of pollinator-friendly plants, this next vine is a pollinator favorite. The yellow ladybanks is a full-sun, nearly thornless climbing rose vine, and it's going to bloom hundreds of beautiful miniature yellow flowers in early spring, creating a major feeding station that's going to draw in wildlife from all over. And you just got to make sure to have a sturdy trellis or a fence to allow the vine to grow on because it's going to get big and heavy. And we really do like mixing in different types of plants, so having not only flowering bushes like our last few, but mixing in a flowering vine is a great way to add texture and height to the garden. Now, if you're looking to mix in some color and a tropical feel, you're definitely going to want to check out these next two plants. I sometimes get these two plants confused, the Desert Bird of Paradise and the Pride of Barbados. Now, we're really lucky because our neighbor has a lot of Desert Bird of Paradise growing in her yard, so we're treated to their colorful blooms every single year. And the birds really love to pick at the plant seed pods, and they sometimes drop the seeds when they're flying overhead, so we never know if we might get a free plant in our garden. These are both highly drought tolerant and they love full sun. I really like them too because their flowers bring a tropical flair to any desert garden, and they're also going to grow pretty large. So if you want to add some height and anchor any section that needs a statement plant, these would be something to consider. Now they're both staples of Southwest gardens, so adding these to the summer months makes total sense. I may just have to add one of these to my cart. Another staple of Southwest gardens is the Tecoma Sparky. It's not a true drought-tolerant champ. It does best in full sun to partial shade, and it does require regular watering. It can handle some dry spells, but it's not truly drought-tolerant. I'm still recommending it though because of those flowers. Their orange, red, and yellow flowers are stunning, and it could do really well as a companion plant nestled into a partial shade portion of your garden. Plus, this plant is the absolute standard for low maintenance, and it can thrive in the southwest heat. Speaking of thriving in the heat, this next plant checks all the boxes on what to look for in a water-wise plant, except one. This is the Mexican grass tree, and it loves full sun. We do have a couple of wild Dasylirion growing in our front yard, so I know this plant can definitely handle the summer heat. It's a great choice, but the only box that it doesn't check for me is that price. I don't know about it. They do have a lot in stock, so if you have the money, it would be worth the investment, but that price tag makes it questionable for me. Now, if you do plant one in your garden, it may take a few years to bloom, which are going to be these tall spikes with small creamy white flowers, but let me tell you, it is worth the wait. The only problem is that it rarely blooms, and only after many years. This is a very low maintenance, drought-tolerant champ, but not as much as the last plants I'm going to be recommending at Lowe's right now. One of the areas that stood out here at Lowe's right now is their cactus and succulent collection. At this point, I've been out in the sun for the better part of an hour, so I didn't really get a chance to inventory all of the plants. If you would like me to do a full cactus inventory, let me know down in the comments below, and I would be happy to come back and check them out for you. Now, if you're going to be planting a new cactus or succulent this summer, remember it is not a set it and forget it. Newly planted cactus and succulents still need plenty of regular supplemental watering until their roots are established. And we definitely recommend mixing different textures and forms and heights, such as agaves, barrel cactus, yuccas, and trailing succulents. These can all create a dramatic desert landscape with very little water use. It's definitely hot out here today. I'm happy to have been able to do some of the shopping with you. We're always on the hunt for plants on our own wish list, so making a stop into the garden center is always fun. And we love sharing recommendations of what Lowe's has in stock right now, so hopefully you can save yourself a trip in the midday sun. We also hope you're able to find a plant or two that you can add to your own garden wish list, and we want to make sure that you stop by Lowe's to see what they have in stock. Now, if you want to see what Home Depot has in their nursery, check out this video to see what our recommendations are for their drought-tolerant plants. Stay cool, everybody.